Okay, this is kind of like a test recording. If it ends up being good, then I'll I'll post it. I mean, it won't be good. I'm not really doing too much. I'm just kind of doing these studies. So, here is how I'm going to approach them. Now, I have basically like a stack of a bunch of photos I got from Pinterest, and I'm just going to kind of figure study them most likely incorrectly, kind of judge my work and see what I have to improve later. So, that's kind of my plan. If that's not your kind of thing, uh, you don't need to watch. Thanks for coming, but this is kind of just me figuring out things. So I'm gonna put a bunch of lines, see if I can replicate them, and maybe learn something. That's actually that's actually silly there. So one thing I like to see, you see, this kind of pinch here. This is actually the straight point. So I do see a kind of like it's gonna be one of these going on. You got your typical leg thing going on. So it's going to be something like this. And then your usual legs. Okay, cool, cool. Maybe I should keep those there. Your arms usually are something like that. Then you got your circle. That's your little rib cage thing going on. Cool. Yeah. Give it a go. See what we're doing here. So we're kind of starting. It looks like it's kind of straight down. So let's get this head in there. Eh, decent, decent. Kind of matching. It's kind of going straight down, and then it kind of does the thing at the end. So let's see if we could get that thing. That's this over here. Kind of, we'll do a box for this one. That'll be over there. Kind of does the bend. So let's get that bend in there. That's when we have our little bottom section here. And this is not a gesture. This is not how you gesture draw. But that's how I'm failing here. So, see, this did absolutely nothing for anybody. So let's do that a bit more loose and see if we could get somewhere more productive. So we have our thing there. We got our head. It's going down, kind of like this. And then it does that thing where it kind of like, oh yeah, let's bend the legs up a bit. Bend the legs up over there. That goes down in that way. And then it does that little foot thing there. This kind of goes down at that angle. And it does that foot thing. Let's do that straight line technique. And the foot. Maybe a little toe. I'm putting too much, even though there's no detail, I'm doing too much detail. This is just supposed to be a gesture, but that's what I'm doing here. In retrospect, it doesn't look too bad in terms of learning. There's the necklines. Yeah, there's the neckline. That thing. And, that's whatever. We're not trying to go too crazy. The head. It's doing one of those things. So let's just... We could really do whatever here. You're not trying to recreate the whole person. Just trying to absorb its data. Once again, this is it's not a gesture, and it's definitely not a figure study. But we're warming up. So let's try that one more time. How could I approach it this time? Let's try breaking it down into shapes. Let's use a... Yeah. No, not that one. Actually, yeah, that might be nice. Cool. So, we know that's going to be our circle. Oof. Maybe it's a little too slippery. Let's change that a little bit. Same deal. So we know that's our circle. We know that's going to be going down, kind of... But we don't care about that right now. We care about what's the body doing. Similar to what the dog doing. That's right, I'm just going to say nonsense. There we go. So we kind of have that with some rough 3D shapes, but they kind of go into each other there. That's where our little bone hinge things come out there, and then they do their thing. So we kind of have it going on here. We weren't too far off. That's when you would, of course, put the... This is where this little ribcage thing happens and all that fun stuff. And then you kind of just fill it in. Yeah. Look, we learned nothing. Or did we? Now that we have the overall base here, we might be able to actually mimic it now that we have the skeleton. So, of course, you know, you got your face going on, it's doing the thing. And let's fill it in with the knowledge that we've learned over our years of studying. It's doing something. Kind of just filling it in with what I know, but it's not enough all the time, right? For example, you could already tell right here, I am not doing this part correctly. There's a whole thing going on there. For example, if I have the torso, it's doing a thing over here. There's that extra bits. But the legs, they're on like a bone, basically, like doing this. That's your... I don't know bones too much. Is that your pelvis? It's that little bionicle joint over here that kind of goes up. So your legs from here, not everyone's legs, but they'll pivot. So, well, that's really open. So from there, they could do that thing where they come down. Wow, this is so off, but I'm just trying to explain it so I get it more. Wow, that is super off. Never mind. That's what I get for explaining. But it's kind of like that. So, anyways, so let's do another quick. They're going over. They're doing their thing. And they're just kind of... doing that. The neck, I was gonna say it's too long, but it actually looks pretty similar. These arms, you know, they'll just kind of be tucked away in there. You might be like, oh no, what are they doing? Arms are supposed to be cylinders. Yeah, you're right. I forget that all the time. It's so much easier to do arms as cylinders. But when you're in the heat of the moment, it's really kind of like, whoops, sorry. And then you kind of just blend them, and maybe you got like a hand. This isn't how you draw fingers, by the way. This is like the cheapo method. Gets the job done for sketches, but it really helps learning how to do it properly. I'm not going over that, though. We're just kind of practicing bodies here. Look at this crazy looking hand. Could be worse. But, ugh. Anyways, let's go to a different pose. Ah, nice little stand. This doesn't look too bad. So let's look at the skeleton. Oh, too big. It's kind of doing like, kind of got your little S curve here. Look at that. You see the tilt here? Very, very slight tilt there. And then here, you got a little, not too bad. So it's kind of going around, going in, and this is slightly raised. So this is, I don't know, it's not, it's very subtle. But if you were to kind of exaggerate this pose, you would have these hips going way out. And maybe I could do that. Maybe I could attempt it. Let's try that. Ah! Little atro jump scare there. Let's see how we could do this here. So I got my pink. Actually, that might not be too bad of an idea, but let's stick with the black pencil. Alright. I can't draw circles tonight, but it's okay. Let's kind of go down, down, and remember our line here, bam, bam. Very exaggerated there. So there's kind of going there. There's that little midway point about here. And let's do the hips about there. See what we do with that. Oh, you know what? I didn't do that line correctly. Let's try that again. I want that to be very much more exaggerated there. So the hips already bottomed out right here. So a little lower, that's that area. Nope, I did not do it correctly. I do feel like I'm learning something though. There is a certain, I'm making up words. So I'm self-taught. I've only done YouTube videos and I watched YouTube videos, I mean, on things like this. So I've never been to that school kind of like, oh, today we're drawing the person. I never did that. And I wish I did, but this is kind of my replacement for that. So I've never truly learned to to look at, you know, a person, a real life human, and draw just by looking at them. Usually I would do that old, I believe Doxy had a tutorial a long time ago, where you would basically blur the reference image and kind of go over it with your knowledge from there. But that's the thing, you needed the knowledge anyway, and that's kind of what I'm trying to gain here. So once you get the knowledge, you'll be able to honestly do everything. I'm almost there. As you can see, I'm very rusty. I could see some things, but I'm not all the way. But this is, honestly, this exercise, I already feel like I'm learning. I am judging the heck out of everything I'm doing here, which is, in this field, honestly, it's really important to know where you're going wrong. For example, this looks nothing like this over here, right? Like, this is obviously kind of up, right? This knee is closer to us than this knee. This is obviously kind of going up, and this one is obviously the leg that's kind of like going back. So I did that wrong, but it's important for me to keep learning and go from there. So if anything, next, feel you, just don't touch me. Okay, all right, whatever that means. Let's make another layer. I should have just made a bunch. I keep deleting them. This one looks like your actual typical pinup looking pose. So you got your little waist over here. Not waist, torso. And of course it's doing that thing. There's some little rib cage action. You got your belly button somewhere there. And then, of course, you got just some of that extra meat. And little, you know, a little bit of something like that. This, you got your, whatever the heck that thing is called. And then you got that little action that happens there. Of course, we have your, yeah, honestly, this stuff isn't too bad here. It's the interconnecting that is going to really be bad. So let's, once again, we have a leg that is jutting out, that is closer to the viewer. That's this one. How do I deal with that? I don't know. I'm learning. So I'm kind of just tracing over it just to get some muscle memory of it, kinda. As you can see, it's still off, right? That's because that method doesn't do anything. But I still feel like it's sometimes helpful. But let's see if we could just get to it. So let's try to match this curve here. So we got ourselves a little curve like that. And then it kind of does that thing. And that kind of straightens out there. So we got our face, head, it's a head. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. Never mind, you'll just, there you go. You're just gonna be a little circle thing. We got that going on there. And since this, if you noticed, this right here, from here, that's its own little section. And this kind of does something like that. So that's its own little area. So what I need to focus on here is this top area and then connecting it. This top area, if you want to go kind of judge the size, it's almost double that. Let's see if we could use that simple math. Then you got this extra side right here. And then this, that could be kind of leaning into this here. And now I'm just doing that thing where I'm just assuming, trying to be flowy. This figure is totally not like this one. It's not nearly as skinny here. See? This is that's not it. That's not how you do it. But once again, this is why we practice. So let's try this again, but let's do the other method, the cheapo method. So what I'm going to do here, how are we doing it? We're blurring. Yeah. And now from here, we're actually going to, we're going to disable that and put that here. And we're going to make that a little dimmer. Yeah. Let's see what we could do here. So I got a face, a head. Wow. Keep doing that. So we got our points. Oh. Yeah, I'm seeing how that construction kind of comes together. And of course, it's basically you're using it as a guide. It's not the best guide, but it's kind of like it's still a guide no matter what. It's still a crutch in my opinion, and it's not something I would want to rely on. I really want to just be able to draw whatever I want from just seeing something, but it is possible to learn something from this. It's not too bad. It still has a lot of kinks to work out, but you basically have yourself your figure. Now, this is something I really need to focus on here. Now, if you see this shape, Kind of like, to me, it looks like some Superman underwear. So if you were to draw, see if I could kind of do that. There, kind of. Hardly, but same idea. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm trying to learn, where you just kind of making shortcuts. And sometimes the shortcuts you make yourself are the ones that resonate with you the most. For example, whenever you're, well, whenever typically someone's drawing a head, they would do maybe something like this. Maybe you know, assuming there's the thing over there, maybe they're cutting it in. Maybe this dips in, and they got themselves like a head, right? Well, and, you know, some ear action, stuff like that. But I noticed sometimes when I draw, I end up being like, no, I gotta draw it like right from there and just start with the eyes, like a madman, and then kind of just see it. You know, I see what I need to do, and then from there, like I'm already assuming where the head is from here. You know, so I kind of honestly I could skip that. Like hey, that looks pretty good. Or does it? Yeah, it's still actually decent. So there's those shortcuts that you learn, and you might already have them, and it's easy to forget about these bad habits. And in this case, that bad habit wasn't too bad. My other bad habits definitely need to be weeded out, though. Like, if you were to see that, it would probably be something like this. Big old anime forehead there. You got your hairline somewhere there. Yeah, okay. Wow, this is a... If you were expecting something action-packed, I'm sorry, but this is just... this is just me learning and trying to practice. Yeah, that's not too bad. Now, from here, what I would usually do, which is a bad habit of mine, is I'll be like, and you just saw it happen live. It's like, oh, I'm practicing. Hey, I'm practicing. I'm learning. Hey, this is good. I'm learning all the stuff. What about this? Oh, how about that? Oh, yeah, what about this thing? And then I'll go off and be like, what if I just unlocked like some ultra instinct, some ultra art instinct, and just started like drawing, and it's like, oh, they did it. They found the secret technique, and they don't need to study anymore. Or they'll do it. And then they're, you know, you're drawing all loose, and you feel like, oh, I've studied for the night. Well, yeah, that's not bad either. But that's the thing. I could do this. I know I could do that. And then, you know, fix the arms a bit and do whatever, you know, little easy stuff there, who knows. But that's stuff that I've done that I don't need to do anymore. And that's I need to stop just being like, "Oh, let's do the easy way." It's kind of it's kind of like whenever I practice using a hitbox instead of my regular controller. It's like, oh yeah, I'm practicing. I'm doing so good. Yay, I learned my little basic combo with the hitbox. That's like a different kind of fight stick, by the way. So that's what we're talking about. But my muscle memory is great on, you know, controller and stuff like that. But Did I learn anything if I go back to it? Not really. Is it a win? Yeah, it's a small win, for sure. But when I default on the stuff that I know I could do, meanwhile, this stuff is still perplexing me, right? Which means I just have more studying to do. Speaking of studying, let's do another one. That's not bad. That looks manageable. Let's try a different method here. I'm gonna straight up just, there's that going like this, and there's this curve there. So we know there's definitely something like that going on, and something like this. You know, I could kind of see the beanbag technique working here. But why would I use anything that I learned? Well, that's crazy. Let's just see what my eye sees for now. That's what I get for not measuring. Then of course you got your head. It's like a some kind of 3/4 view thing going on there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's not too bad. I did that thing. That's yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's the overall shape. Look at that lighting though. That's cool. See, it's these kind of things that I really would like to learn from. Let's do a quick segue here. We got like this going on, and that goes down like that. All right. So that's it. That came a lot closer than I thought it would. It's a little chunky here. Not as smooth, but we're gonna try it anyway. So the light is a pretty light blue. We're gonna go right in, and I'm gonna try to add a little bit of that light in the same way. You know what? That might actually be a luminosity. But yeah. Yeah, let's try a shine on there and see if it gives us what we want here. Kind of. Why is that one much smoother than mine? Ah, look at that. It's almost like there's line art. See how subtle that is? That's something else I need to learn. That is just some really good shading right here. It's almost like a ball. Yeah, that's an impressive like I've seen artists do stuff like that, and I know it's very simple, but when you're out of practice, this is what you end up looking like right here. Like this stuff. Is that bad? Could be worse. But it's not where I want to be, so that's why I'm learning. That's actually not too bad here. I could kind of feel the gesture going through here. Of course, this is not what a gesture drawing looks like. This is like a weird, just an anime study looks like. What else we got? This is... I want to call it easy, but has anything been easy so far? Not really. Let's see if we can learn. So, these points kind of make up that one thing that we were talking about. So you basically got sometimes I see this depicted as like a circle. I kind of like this shape a bit more. Now I know for sure these legs kind of go out, out, out. Remember, that's, you got like bones that are doing something like this. Then I got something over here. Get the line over there, that's when they start. They start right over there. Something like that. Yeah. And then of course your legs are, not legs, your arms are doing this thing. And of course, the legs are hidden, but they're probably doing something like this. Yeah. And then of course the head looks about like that. So bam, bam. Yeah, very, very straight pose. Look at that head. Alright. I mean, that's about right. But can we do it looking at it now? So, we know we're going straight. Let's make some guides. That's going that way. It's going that way. Cool. Now we got our head. Nice. It's looking kind of straight at us. Cool. I made that a little bigger. It's okay. Now we got that going on. I don't need to do that ribcage thing, but I do it because it's fun for some reason. I think this was like 2/3. I need to get the measurements down again. Let's do the hips. So they kind of go in. I know, remember from here, there's that, and this, and then something like that. So that's not quite there. It kind of is. So, you know what? Let's try it. See where we go. Not quite. Not quite. Once again, I'm trying to gain that, like, I am seeing something and I am drawing it. Because once you start doing that, you start to notice the shapes. For example, what is this shape? Oh, that's one of these guys. That's my, that's that sphere thing I always see. Or, if you want to see it in real shapes, and that's when you start getting that geometric, awesome style that you see often. Yeah. Easy shapes. And the whole point is breaking these down and then making them 3D, which you should be seeing it in 3D from the get-go. Anyway. New pose. You might be already thinking like, hey, you didn't finish any of the others. Hey, I'm learning. I'm learning over here. So, look at that. It's one of those where you just straight up go like, boom. And then this is straight down. Kinda. Look at that, we're seeing that shape again. Where it's like, right, 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 right. There's that shape. It's that magical leg shape. I wonder what would happen if I took that shape, I made it blue, I put it behind that one, and then I rotated it. Is that this? Kinda. Basically is. Whoops. So that's kind of that there. Is it off a little? Yeah. But it's important to see those kind of rhythms going on. See how they go straight down? Yeah, that is a cool pose too. It would be so cool to draw that just right out of my head. Let's see if I could do something like that now. So, you got your head. Hello. You know, well, don't do anything too crazy. Yeah, what a nicely detailed face. So we got our neck going down. We got one of these. You know what? Let's try. I see a rectangle. Let's try to do a similar rectangle. Not bad. Ooh, cool. See that? It has a vanishing point somewhere. And now we got one of those. Actually, that rectangle is horrible. You see, that's not going to work at all. Let's go back to our thing here and just kind of give it some more mass. Wow, that's not working. So what am I doing wrong with that? I'll have to honestly add that to my notes and say, study people that are doing this. From what I'm seeing, it should be that. And then the butt here. Well, this whole side here. Honestly, I could just fill in with what I already know and just do the thing from there. But this here, super important. And that's something I definitely need to study. So I'm just adding to my list of things I need to look at. Let's proceed. Look at that, it's that shape again. This shape right here. Whoops. It's almost like these are all humans. Crazy. Let's now bring that back. See that here? Could apply the same shapes to everybody. Yeah, there it is. Same stuff. But that's the cool part. Once you learn something, you just apply it everywhere if, you know, applicable. Let's go back to her. So this is another with a pinch and one of those. So we're going to start with a head. And we're going to do our little... Now this is the side of a body. So let's see if we could do a flowy, like... You know what? Start simple. You gotta stop complexing things here. So it's like that, and then you got your thing going on there. And then you might wonder, like, no, it's nothing like that. Well, I know. It is really tough breaking those habits. Seriously. So what did I do here? Embarrassing, right? Look at that, arm's too short over here. This is totally off. This is honestly decent, like, it's same idea, it's that same shape. So I know I'm probably fine for that for now. But this side stuff here, I need to study. So, let's see what I could do there. I got my side here, which is like that. Spine, of course, is running behind it, something like that. And you got your stuff there. You got your rib cage doing things over here, which always leaves that indentation somewhere there. You got that arm. There's that thing, which is usually the thing from the side that we always kind of draw like this. Some shoulder stuff going on. So it's important to know what things do in 3D. Look at that. Let's take a deep dive here. So what's going on here? Well, let's make that smaller. We have a cylinder literally doing something like this, right? And then we have another cylinder, whoops, literally doing something like this. And then you got like a little cap going on. And of course, the hand, you got your thumb and stuff like that. It's just I'll admit that. That's important. And then you got, some more fun stuff here. Once again, you got one of these things. That's yet another thing you got to learn. And of course, you just start learning those points. Here's that one that we were always kind of dealing with. This I'm not worried about because there's not much to it. I mean, there's a ton to it. I mean, compared to this has less contention points, I would say. Let's do another cylinder thing. That's something I don't do enough of. So, cylinder, and then, bam. Let's do another cylinder. The cylinder's going to be like this, and kind of go down there. And then there's another one of those little balls. That's how that works. Let's add more cylinders, just for the heck of it. So we have the leg cylinder, go down. Of course, you got a little cap over there. That goes down, that goes down. So, little cylinder. Same deal here, not too big. There's a lot more going on here that I'm not going over, but it's not the focus here. I'm just trying to understand drawing these figures. Well, let's try another one. Too simple. Really nice, but maybe too simple. But you know what? Hold on. See this here? It's a whole different shape going on here. Let's see if that technique works here. The technique is essentially you draw like a circle and you kind of do like a what was it? You do like a leg thing. Was that it? I don't think so, but it ended up doing something. Nah, I have that all wrong. There's a certain technique that you could use here. Either way. So, this kind of follows like that. That's fine. Nice and easy. These are those points that we were doing. From the back here, I know there's a bunch of stuff you need to focus on. But depending on the body, there's not all the details. That sentence made sense in my head. There's definitely a skill with that. Woo! Learning how to draw real human faces also is probably important. You can't stylize something if you don't know what you're stylizing, right? Uh, okay. See, now we're getting into more Twitterosi levels over here. That's not a bad thing. But same deal. See, if you did have something like this here on your character, you would know exactly what you were exaggerating. Like these calves, everything here. But once again, it's that same shape, really. Just you're changing around something. Got this little torso and the big underside. So if I were to measure it, here's like from your head to that. Is this gonna be one of those like long leg people? Yeah. I'm sure this is just the perspective and they're actually this is confusing. No, yeah, so for us to be seeing this here, we're seeing underneath it. No, we're gonna see underneath it anyway. Oh, then again, we almost see underneath this. I think this photo was being taken at an upward angle because this is a lot of leg. Usually this is about half of a person. So there's definitely some perspective tricks going on here. Or maybe not. Maybe they just got really long legs and I'm just making up math as I go. Always a possibility. Same with this. You know what? This looks a little, what do the young people say? Looks sus. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. You see that there? Alright. Yeah, this is... Wow, look at that seam. Wait a minute. Yeah, wow. How did I not notice that before? Come on. Look at... Whoa! Even the feet? Okay, so... There's obviously some crazy stuff going on here. Wow. It's amazing seeing things afterward. I don't see any distortion here, though. But there's definitely distortion going on around here. Whatever. Distortion. Any distortion here? This looks real. Another back shot, which would be awesome to learn more. But at this point, I think I'm just getting sleepy, so I don't want to push it. So, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this video. It's kind of... Honestly, it's not really informative. It's just... If anything, it's like a diary of me trying to learn things. Which might be good for content. Maybe. But I'd really rather be teaching. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I do. Catch you later.